didn't prepare, I didn't know I was going to speak today. Apologies for the noise. I just came today as a spectator to support Billy. I'm the founder of Spartan Child Protection Team in Scotland. We're an online child protection team that catch any adult exploiting kids online. That's basically what we do. You'll find us on Facebook. I've listened today, and I've just listened to Nadeem speaking there, and I'm struggling to keep my emotions in check hearing his story. It's absolutely horrendous. Very brave man. Well done, Nadeem. The pink ladies as well, they need no introduction. Guys, there's not a lot I can say that's not been said already. We're in the grip of, in my opinion, the greatest scandal in the history of this country, where we are still seeing systemic failures from top to bottom. The establishment's continued denial of the existence of rape gangs in the UK. A failed inquiry that's still faltering and stuttering and hasn't got off the ground. It's literally achieved nothing. They don't know what to do. They've already got the evidence, the substantial evidence. It's documented massively. And yet here we are, relying on the public with petitions begging the authorities and the established powers of this land to acknowledge that there is a crisis and that children have been historically exploited and are still being exploited on an industrial scale. The UK has become the embarrassment of the civilised world, led by a government who have got their heads so far in the trough, they have got no interest in acknowledging the children that have been exploited and been failed in the care systems of this country. We talk about the Borstals and the child institutions that were established to protect kids, where children were systematically abused for decades. Time and time again, lives, hundreds of thousands if not millions of lives ruined by systemic abuse while in the care system. It's one of the greatest failures of the UK, and it's still not been acknowledged the way that it should be acknowledged. It's a massive, gross failure, and the leader of this country should hang his head in shame for not taking the bull by the horns and throwing every single pound and every single asset that he has at his disposal into bringing this to an end once and for all and ensuring the safety of children. And you've got Billy, who's been campaigning for 20 years and has barely got a following in the UK. Now, what is interesting to note is that the amount of people here today is literally dwarfed by the number of police officers present. That tells you all you have to know about the normalisation of abuse in society. When people don't even turn up because they've normalised it that much, because they read about it every single day on every single platform, and it doesn't shock anybody anymore. It's got no shock factor. Children being raped time and time again, some of them hundreds of times, documented with the National Crime Agency, and there's what, a few dozen people here today. There's not even 100 people present. There's more police officers, and there's a march over there. I won't say what it's in aid of, but there's way more people over there for something that doesn't even have any substance in this country. It's happening out with the UK, but we can't even address the failings that we're here for today. We've got a few dozen people present. Friends of mine went to Braintree today to protest from Scotland, and I said, I'm going to Leeds. This is the priority. This is the priority because we're still swirling our feet in the mud, working out how to conduct an inquiry that's going to cost tens of millions of pounds and achieve absolutely nothing. We don't need an inquiry. We've got all the evidence we'll ever need We've got all the witness testimony that we'll ever need. We don't need to spend tens of millions of pounds on inquiries. We need to spend tens of millions of pounds implementing safeguarding for children in institutions and young kids in socially deprived demographics all over the UK that are being failed by policing, and the people that are empowered with their safeguarding that are not implementing it, that are failing every single day in the dereliction of their duty in public office, paid huge salaries and achieving absolutely nothing. The child protection team that I've founded is growing arms and legs, and the further down the rabbit hole I go, the more my head is completely blown by what I find. Tens of dozens of documented operations into regional organised grooming gangs, and nobody wants to acknowledge who's behind it, and everybody wants to throw hate and racial slander to anybody who addresses it. If you're scared of slander, you've came to the wrong party today. Don't ever be scared to be called out for something that you feel strongly about. Don't ever be scared to call it exactly what it is.
Welcome, we do what's right.
So, I have to say something. Leeds, I'm disappointed in you today for the numbers present. But I'm hugely respectful of the people that came here today.
Well done. Well said.
Now we have relatively small numbers in social media considering the volume of people that's on it.
Yeah.
I hope today by posting and sharing that there would be some more people here. I didn't know I was going to speak until Billy told me earlier on the way down. I'll always speak up for what I believe in, regardless of the hate and the slander and the malicious crap that gets thrown at me. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, that's right.
I care about what's right, and if I can make a difference, I'm going to make a difference. Because if you look the other way, you're part of the problem. If you choose to walk by here and read these banners, and you can clearly say that it mentions grooming gangs, that it mentions exploitation, that it mentions sexual abuse, and you continue walking because you're out shopping or you're going for a coffee and you can't stop for 10 minutes and show support, you're part of the problem. By default, you become complicit when you look the other way. It's time the people of the UK stood together, put religion aside, put hate aside, put football aside, put all the crap that indoctrinates and divides to one side and stand together once and for all and address our failing government for their negligence.
Well said.
If a few members of the Labour Party and those in power were the very last people on earth and I had to team up with them to keep myself alive, I would stand myself. I wouldn't rely on them, because if they can't protect children, what are they going to do for me?
Yeah.
Alright? So I look around me here and I see survivors, and I only have to look at their faces, and I'll never forget Nadim's speech. I'll never forget that. And I'm still trying to keep my emotions in check, and I'm still trying to process what he said. Very, very brave man. Get the pink ladies. But look at the crowd, guys, look around you. Hugely disappointing numbers. But we won't be silenced. We'll continue to address it, and we'll continue to stand opposed to the failures in government and the way that they're still dragging their heels and calling this inquiry, you know, it gets a little bit of press coverage, but it's already losing its momentum. Why? Because they cannot acknowledge the truth. And I'll tell you quickly why. In order to conduct an inquiry forensically, they would have to criminally indict half of the civil service in this country that look the other way, while on expenses, while on salaries. This is not addressed at all police officers. It's well documented that many police officers looked the other way and failed in their duties. There are thousands of good police officers in the UK, and there's some bad apples, the same as every walk of life and every occupation. In order to conduct this inquiry properly, you would have to indict retired officers, pensioned up to the max, social workers, half the social services, all of the caseworkers, everybody from the justice system down to the bottom rung of the ladder, and you would have to put them all in a dock and take them all through trial. And I'm talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of people over a 30-year period. If you ever think that they're going to do an inquiry that will put anyone in a dock, then you need to take your head for a you know what, because you're in cuckoo land if you think that. They're going to lie their way through this. They're going to fabricate an outcome. They're going to hide everything that they've always hidden. They're going to go over old ground and spend millions doing it, and continue along with the gravy train and keep the same people in the same jobs that failed you and failed your children while they collect their pensions. I could rhyme off dozens of names in this part of the world who continued in employment and gained their pensions while willfully neglecting their duty to protect the people they were empowered to do so. It's documented, you cannot lie, it can't be covered up, but they won't address it. So don't be fooled with all their nonsense that they're going to make a difference. The only people that make a difference is the people that have turned up here today. The public, the working classes, the people that don't have the power, but you've got a voice, use it. Okay? So, as much as we're slightly disappointed with the turnout, we're still here, we're still standing, and we'll still be heard.
Yeah.
Listen guys, thanks for having me on here.
Just for
There's other people here more important than me that have got stuff to say. Thank you very much. And any work that you want, you know what I do, you'll find us on Facebook. We're Spartan Child Protection Team. Thanks guys, cheers.